Okay, what's going on, everybody? We are here. We're alive. Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and most importantly, please make sure you are following me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. If you don't want to miss another notification, if you want to avoid typical YouTube nonsense, oh, they unsubscribed me. I don't know why. Telegram solves all those issues. Telegram, TD Media Group. The link to my Telegrams in the description box below and pinned in the comments section as well. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get this show started, man. Let's get it started. I'll start off by saying this first and foremost. She's back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Jasmine Crockett is back. I guess I spoke a little bit too soon yesterday, right? I spoke too soon yesterday when we talked about how she's been rather quiet since the Greg Abbott Hot Wheels kind of debacle, right? That she got caught herself in. You combine that with the fact that she assaulted a reporter in that same week, and it appeared as if the DNC just sat her down for a little bit. Shh, be quiet, and we'll bring you back out a little bit later. I thought maybe we'd have like another week of peace, but no, she's back with another foolish statement. We're not going to spend too much time on this today, but I did want to talk about this because this does highlight what I discussed yesterday in the first half of yesterday's live stream on Jasmine Crockett, as it particularly pertains to the abuse and misuse, the egregious misuse of race, right? Constantly saying that something is racist or calling someone a bigot or making slavery references and civil rights references and all this other type of nonsense when it just makes absolutely no sense to, right? They do this all the time. They do this egregiously. And what you're going to see here with Jasmine Crockett, at least to me, when I first watched this, it made my jaw drop because what this proves to me and shows me is that the use of race, and as people like to say, pulling out the race card or race hustling, whatever terminology people like to put on it, this is mind control. It is 100% mind control. And you're going to see what I'm talking about right now. Pay attention to what she's getting ready to say. Listen to what she's talking about. Pay attention to the reaction that she receives based on what she's talking about. And then pay close attention to what she immediately does next. And you tell me whether or not this isn't mind control. Watch this.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
I know that's right.
Ridiculous. Understand. She's speaking at what is this place here? It is Grace Baptist Church 125th anniversary program. She's speaking largely to a black congregation. It's pretty much, it's a black church. She's trying to sell them on open borders. She's trying to sell them on illegal immigration. And when that was failing, because she made the reference and stated, ain't none of y'all trying to go work on farms right now. Understand that's offensive. That term and the statement that you constantly hear that illegal immigrants are working jobs that Americans don't want to work, it's offensive because it's not true. They're working jobs that these places are unwilling to pay fair wages at, right? That's the reality of it. They're working jobs that American citizens have been undercut out of because they can pay illegal immigrants close to nothing to work these jobs, versus if you offer it to me, I'm going to ask you, well, how much you're paying and are there benefits? How uppity of me. How uppity of me to be wanting to know, well, what's the pay? Can we negotiate the pay? And are there benefits? You don't have to worry about that with illegal immigrants. You can just give them whatever. and they'll take it. And for the most part now, as it pertains to these kind of jobs, working farms, and even construction jobs, like here in Los Angeles, where I am, if you're looking to work those jobs, it's very hard to find them. You know how many construction sites that I see out here where there's construction going on and they don't even have a name of the company like around the fence? They don't even have it. These jobs at this point are particularly and specifically marketed and promoted to illegal immigrants in their spaces to where they have access to them. You don't even have access to these places no more. You don't know the name of the construction companies to apply to, even if you wanted to. Because like I said, a lot of these places around the fences surrounding the construction site, they don't even have a name on it. If you want to go apply at one of these farms, where? You don't see that at your local job fair. Come work at such and such farm. It's not even available to you, right? But why? It's because you've been cut out of it. It's not because you don't want to work there. It's because they want cheap labor. That's why. But here's the thing that I really want to focus on, right? More importantly than that, because we understand that already concerning illegal immigration, how it, undercuts American citizens and undercuts wages and things like that. We get all that already. But she made that statement and it received a negative reaction. Let's play it again, and I'm going to pause it when it happens.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands.
You see how she's getting irritated? People are laughing because her mannerisms and the raise your hands, because that's funny to these folks, right? It's theatric, but she's irritated because she made that insulting statement that they're working jobs that American citizens don't want to work because you're so uppity asking about benefits and nonsense like that. The negative reaction that she received was, yeah, we will. What are you talking about? So now we can carry on from here.
Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
I know that's right.
You heard that dummy that said, I know that's right. You can't tell me that this isn't mind control. They understand Black folks very well. In a situation where she has found herself amongst Black people, and she's trying to sell them on this idea of open borders and illegal immigration and why mass deportation is bad, and we need these people here. Once they start disagreeing with her, she automatically pivots to slavery, plantations, picking cotton, and that's supposed to immediately snap you right back to where you're supposed to be. Reparations, vote blue no matter who, AOC 2028. That's the desired effect that this is supposed to have. And that's why you see she's just flippantly, and so many of them, they flippantly pull this out of their back pocket every single time. Because unfortunately, for a lot of us, unfortunately, it works. And it's completely ridiculous to me. It's completely ridiculous. And then on top of that, she's speaking to a room of predominantly, overwhelmingly Black people in this church congregation. And she's trying to convince them that they don't want to work those jobs because it's the equivalent of picking cotton. And then goes on to further state, you can't pay me enough to work on a plantation, meaning that even if they did offer you enough money with the benefits that you're looking for to work on these farms, she's trying to make it seem as if in your mind, she's trying to make that out into you're going back to working on a plantation. So no, you don't want to work on the farm. The people there rejected her message. Those are Black folks at that church. They rejected her message. They said, no, we will work at that farm. We will, actually. How much they paying? But you can't pay me to go work on a plantation. It's not a plantation. It's a farm. It's a job, getting paid. I'm asking you other benefits. There's no plantation here. It's not slavery. There's no cotton being picked. But that's the correlation that she's trying to make in order to make jobs like that undesirable to you. So now you tell me, are these jobs that American citizens don't want to work? Are these jobs that Black folks don't want to work? Or are these jobs that they don't want you to work? That's the real question. If they don't want you to work those jobs, well, why don't they want you to work those jobs? They prefer to have the cheap labor. And they prefer to have the cheap labor at the American citizen's expense, at the expense of you being out of work, at the expense of you struggling. As long as we got our cheap labor, we can care less what happens to you. But meanwhile, we'll keep gaslighting you on things like slavery, on things like Jim Crow, civil rights movement, while doing all this to justify illegal immigration and open borders. This is crazy. This is complete insanity, and it's wildly disrespectful. It's wildly disrespectful. I want to close out by playing this because this is done so often. Look at this clip here. As many of you may know, because I released a video earlier today, right? I released this video earlier today talking about how the Supreme Court passed a judgment in Trump's favor concerning the Aliens Enemies Act, right? So that these criminal illegal alien migrants that are MS-13 and Trinidad and Agua, they can swiftly be deported out of the country. And many of these DNC lunatics are going crazy. It's just the most horrible thing in the world. How dare we quickly remove violent criminal gang members? How dare we do something that crazy and that ridiculous, right? Well, look at one of the responses here on MSNBC. Listen to what this guy has to say. And once again, he's going to do the typical Jasmine Crockett thing to do, the typical Brandon Johnson thing to do. As we're trying to justify illegal immigration, let's bring race into the matter. Let's talk about Black this and Black that. Just watch and see.
I don't know what it's going to take for the American people, for 78 million Americans, to deal with what motivated them to make the choice to elect this man again, to make the choice that will allow these people to undermine every fundamental assumption we have, that you can just be disappeared, and then they can argue that, a court is getting in the way of their ability to exercise, foreign policy in some ways, right? I don't know what it's going to take for 78 million Americans to deal with what motivated them to make this choice. And the choice that they've made, we have to just be honest, is to literally throw the Republic into the trash bin. And this is just one example. The tariffs is another, right? They made the choice. Now, what was behind it? We have to grapple with it.
I want you to understand right now how he's not saying anything. So he's speaking out against everything that's pertaining to Trump's agenda concerning mass deportation, but he's not articulating any points. Have you learned anything listening to this guy yet? He's supposed to be really, really smart, highly educated. You could tell by the glasses that he's wearing, right? But you haven't learned anything yet. This is just emotional gibberish that he's speaking. But listen to where he pivots this conversation next.
Behind it, we have to grapple with it, because it's the snake, it's the beast coiled up in the heart, the bosom of the country, as Frederick Douglass said. And
Frederick Douglass has nothing to do with what's going on now. Frederick Douglass has absolutely nothing to do with the present day and what's going on with illegal immigration.
We have to grapple with it, because it's the snake, it's the beast coiled up in the heart, the bosom of the country, as Frederick Douglass said. And the fact that they are doubling down on this shows you what kind of human beings they actually are.
Say more.
You see the preacher vibe that's going on here? He was done talking. She said, say more. This is retarded.
Shows you what kind of human beings they actually are.
Say more.
Preach.
Douglass said. And the fact that they are doubling down on this shows you what kind of human beings they actually are.
Say more.
We chose a felon who is more interested in loyalty, who's more interested in retribution, who's more interested in grift than in democracy. And we chose a felon because we didn't want to elect a black woman. So to read.
I'm gonna let it keep playing, but I mean, come on, man. How insulting is this? This is why the Democrat Party has a 21% approval rating. This is why, just refer to them as a 21% from now on. This is why you have a 21% approval rating. I'll let it play. I'll let it play.
Who's more interested in grift than in democracy. And we chose a felon because we didn't want to elect a black woman. So to read that, to actually explicate that, is to say we would rather destroy the republic than for that to have happened.
Her along with Biden literally destroyed the republic on their own. Why would you put back in office the people who destroyed the republic? They did it. We elected Trump to fix it. You know, but it's almost over.
Than in democracy. And we chose a felon because we didn't want to elect a black woman. So to read that, to actually explicate that, is to say we would rather destroy the republic than for that to have happened. And until we grapple with it, there's no amount of protesting I could do. There's no amount of resistance that could come into play to actually force 78 million people to grapple with what motivated them to put themselves in this position.
We would rather destroy. Okay, so I don't know about everybody that's listening, but you guys know me. I'm Trump all the way. All right. I make no apologies for that. You guys know me. I'll tell you in a heartbeat. It's MAGA over here. But you're telling me that my choice for Trump, as well as 78 million other Americans, our choice for Trump and our willingness to destroy the republic is solely because we didn't want a black woman to be president. I'll end it like this, man, because this is ridiculous. And like I said, it's wildly insulting. First things first, I got to take it there. A black woman didn't run for president. A biracial Indian woman did. Okay. That's number one. A biracial Indian woman ran for president, not a black woman. Secondly, I would be a fool, and all of us would be fools to reelect the very people who literally destroyed the country. But you were supposed to vote them into office, and particularly me, I guess, as a black man, you know, I was supposed to vote in a biracial Indian woman who's cosplaying as a black woman, just simply off the strength that she was a so-called black woman. Nothing more, nothing less. Forget about the fact that they wrecked the country. You're black. She's pretending to be black, so you're supposed to vote for her. This is the logic of the DNC. And it's a wildly insulting logic. The logic is insulting and downright stupid and completely ridiculous. Like I said, you know, going back to the original point with Jasmine Crockett, how she just randomly evokes race into the conversation where it doesn't need to be there. This is mind control. Some of you are coming in late. And I'm going to bring this stream to a close now, but I want to play this for you one more time before we get out of here, right? I want to play this Jasmine Crockett clip for you guys very quickly. Look at this here, and you guys tell me whether or not this isn't mind control. And I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to preface it with anything. If you came in here late, just watch this.
I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right, right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
I know that's right.
Goofy. I know that's right. You see how quickly the mind control works? Like I said, they do this because unfortunately, it's effective. It shouldn't be, because it should be insulting, but it's effective. But in case you didn't realize what you watched just now, what you were watching, as I bring this to a close, and I've said that like 5 times already, but I'm going to end this now. What you just watched is Jasmine Crockett speak to a room full of Black people because she was at the Grace Baptist Church 125th anniversary program. She's speaking to a group of Black people in which she told them, you don't want to farm to justify illegal immigration, open borders, and cheap labor. You don't want to farm. Ain't none of y'all trying to farm. That Black audience rejected her message. They said, yes, we do want to farm. How much they paying? Do they got benefits? And then she immediately pivoted and went, oh, you can't pay me to go back on a plantation. We done picking cotton. What? Why would you equate having a job that pays well with benefits to picking cotton and going back to being on a farm? That's mind control. That's just to shock you right back in the place where you're supposed to be. That's all that is. I'm equating something as simple as being gainfully employed to being to picking cotton on a plantation in order to convince you that you don't want that job. Even if they were paying good, you can't pay me enough to get back on that plantation. So even if they were paying with benefits, you don't want that job. You don't want it. We rather keep you on government assistance where you're nice and under control. That's what we would much rather you do. And that's what they want. They don't want you being a independent thinker, right? Making your own decisions, not triggered by buzzwords such as slavery, civil rights, Jim Crow, and things of that nature. They don't want that. And they definitely don't want you, honestly, gainfully employed, making a decent wage with benefits. Because let me tell you something, when you're no longer attached to the government and you're no longer somebody who's easily triggered by racism and you're doing pretty well for yourself financially, all this kind of talk is for the birds. I'm trying to tell you, it starts to really not mean anything to you. And then you really start seeing this foolishness for what it actually is, which is foolishness, mind control, and disrespect. And they don't want you to realize that. They don't want you to realize that. And with all that being said, that's going to do it for today's stream. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate all the support you guys have shown me today. And I want to go through that right now. But, share this out, hit the like button on your way out, and subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Please follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. Please follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. That is extremely important. The link to my Telegram is in the description box below and pinned in the comment section as well. And I just want to take a quick moment to go through the support that you guys showed me today, because I don't exist without you guys' support. So I thank you very much. It does not go unappreciated. Thank you very much, Dana Mitchell. I appreciate you for the support that you've shown me. I appreciate you so much, Dana. Thank you very much. Shout out to Caleb Kesmet. I appreciate the super sticker. Thank you very much, Caleb. Shout out to the Geek Surgeon. He is a descendant of Butter Biscuits. Is he a descendant of Butter Biscuits? I don't know. I believe his name is Eddie Glaud. I know his first name is Eddie. You guys know I'm horrible at names. His first name is Eddie. I don't think his last name is Glad, though. It's like Eddie Glaud, something like that. He might be a descendant of Butter Biscuits, though. Shout out to my man Untried Genius, said the MSNBC guy, they gonna put y'all back in chains. Yeah, they gonna put y'all. You gotta bring this back out? We're gonna bring the classic, the classic soundboard drops right now. Where is it at? You guys haven't heard this in so long.
They're going to put you all back in chains.
That's basically what they're saying. That's what Jasmine Crockett and Eddie on MSNBC, Eddie Glaude, whatever his name is, that's what they're trying to convince you. They're trying to convince you that we need illegal immigration, we need open borders, and we need these folks for cheap labor, because if, God forbid, you take the job with benefits and good pay, that's the equivalent of getting put back in chains. That's the equivalent of getting put back in chains. These people are crazy and completely ridiculous. I appreciate you, Untried Genius. Shout out to College of Natural Health Science, BDA, College of, I'm so sorry. I promise I'm going to have the drop for you tomorrow. I promise. I promise. For those of you who don't know, it's the black dog reference is to Brandon Johnson, which is another egregious example of these DNC lunatics just pulling race out of their behind for no reason when it doesn't make any sense to. And I promise you, I'm going to have that drop for you tomorrow. College of Natural Health Science, BDA said, my black dog said, DNC, please cut the bull jive. I promise you, College of Natural Health Science, I'm going to have that Brandon Johnson drop for you tomorrow. Okay. That is a promise. You can take it to the bank. All right. I appreciate you. Famously Blacker says, stay on it. Your intellect is truly appreciated and does not go unnoticed. Keep going, sir. I appreciate you, Famously Black. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much for your generous donation to the channel and for your kind words. Thank you. I appreciate that. My man Saul coming through as he always does. He says he ain't protesting at all. He's doing pretty well. He ain't protesting at all. He's doing. You talking about Eddie on MSNBC? He ain't protesting at all. Well, I mean, I don't know about him protesting, but I know that he is living well. That's what I do know for sure. That's what I do know for sure. He's definitely living well. I appreciate you, Saul. College of Natural Health Science, BDA said, better thank a union member for ghetto superstars. I got you here. You know, this drop I keep on deck just for you. Okay. You know, I got it just for you. Where is it at? Where is it at?
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
You better thank a union member for ghetto superstars. I got you on that one. I got you on that one. And my man Cutthroat Ra, formerly known as Cutthroat Nash, he said, Dems continue to disrespect our lineage. That's what they do. That's what they do. But at a certain point, you also got to ask yourself, why do they do it? And why do they do it so easily, so flippantly, and without a care? And we got to acknowledge, to a large degree, unfortunately, it works. But people got to start understanding that this is disrespect. What Jasmine Crockett did when she talked to that church full of black folks, that's disrespect. It's disrespect. And it's mind control, as you all saw. Because immediately as she started going into slavery, all of a sudden, we not picking cotton no more. You can't pay me to go on a plantation. What did that dummy say in the end?
You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
I know that's right.
I know that's right. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Slavery, Jim Crow. I know that's right. It's embarrassing, man. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But with all that being said, I'm done. All right, that does it for today's stream. So once again, man, hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on your social media platforms. And I can't stress enough, Telegram. Please follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. Link to my Telegram in the description box below and pinned in the comment section as well. Shout out to my man, Jay Bird, for 36 months of service. He said, ride it until the wheels fall off. I appreciate you, Jay Bird. I appreciate your 36 months of support and service. I will catch you guys later. Peace and have a great afternoon.